I tell you what, he's everywhere. You know, one thing about him is he's everywhere. And I tell you what he works so hard. The time I've been around him, he's been nothing but working hard, flying around, doing what he's supposed to do when he's supposed to do it. He's been leading our secondary. I mean, he hasn't been out here that long, obviously, but man, did he take over our defense today. So very proud of him. And I love his how, I love his effort. He shows incredible leadership out there. And you could tell that young man loves to play the game. And I know he's got NFL blood inside him, but you can tell he loves to play the game. And our players respond to him. And I think that's contagious on defense right now. You can see that a lot more on the defensive side of the ball than you do on the offensive side.
How do you evaluate the talent on this team? You've been out with them a few times. You've been here a couple of months.
It's a lot of meeting time. It's a lot of film evaluation. It's a lot of studying what we're doing out here. We're only 5 practices in. We only have 3 total installs in out of about 12. So there's not much in offense or defense or special teams. But what we're evaluating right now, I think I've said this in the past, is the how, the effort of these kids. How mentally tough are they? You know, can they fight through? Can they respond to success? And can they respond to adversity? You know, and how do they do that? You know, I think our practice, again, we're not practicing for 3 hours, but we put them through a lot of situations that put them in very adverse situations. And how do they handle those times?
PJ, when you got here and got a hold of Connor soon after that, what kind of went into that decision to make sure he came back?
Well, I met with every single player on this football team, and you know, just to kind of talk to them and just build a relationship. What do you want to tell me about yourself? What do you want to know about me? Not only that, just, you know, what are your plans? What do you actually want to do? And I know there was some doubt about being here, which is, I don't blame anybody. You know, you go through any coaching change in America, and you know, and you have very adverse situations that you're coming into. You're going to have people that have either been fed up with it or not, don't like it, or want to move, or want to leave, or just don't fit the culture. Whatever the case is, you're going to have a lot of those. So I knew that I had heard a rumor, right? A lot of rumors going around at that time when I got here, but that he wanted to leave. So I sat him down, talked to him, and he just stressed his concerns. And he hadn't played much, which I get. You know, players want to play, and there's only one quarterback. And I said, I can't guarantee anything. But I said, what I can guarantee you is you're going to get your degree from the University of Minnesota. You're going to be raised in your last year, which is kind of sped up. But for the next 8 months, this hyper-culture and this row-the-boat culture is going to change your life forever. Forget the football part. I can take care of you as a man, teach you how to be able to become a man, and propel you into your future. And you got a great shot at becoming the quarterback, just because it's wide open. And I think those are some of the things that we kind of hit it off pretty quickly. And he's not guaranteed anything. It's a wide open race. But I love that he's commanding. He's the one that's actually commanding a little bit from the football team on the offensive side. Remember, there's not a lot of experience out there right now that has played a ton of football on offense. Not many. I mean, there's tons of repeat starters from last year. Show me them, right? So for me, it's kind of everybody getting their feet wet. Everybody's saying, okay, one, they're kind of almost doubting themselves a little bit. So how can you lead anybody else when you're just trying to get yourself in the right position, let alone get the other guy in the other position? Or defense, I think we have a little bit more of a feel of that. So we're developing that every day. It's getting better. I thought Thursday was probably better than today on the offensive side for that. But I'm very proud of his leadership that he's been able to at least show for the first 5 practices.
Coach, I think I've heard a few times you said axe tough. Is that a direct reference to Paul Bunyan's axe, and what do you kind of mean by that?
Yeah, it's just kind of however way you want to take it, to be honest with you. But we have to set a mentality here, you know. And I've been in those types of situations before, those types of games before. I'm not saying that's directly correlated to that, but we have to have a mindset here. We've got to be able to instill that. So we name all of our periods. A lot of our periods have crazy, weird names, just depending on what we want to be able to get out of it and set the emphasis.
With Ronan, what does he need to show on the job in the spring?
Well, I think anybody. I don't think it's just him. I think anybody. One, you have to be a leader. You've got to be able to command the offense. 2, you have to be a decisive decision maker. Period. The elite quarterbacks, whether it's the National Football League or college football, they're decisive decision makers. And when they make that decision, they're all in on that decision. And they're not always going to be right. It's not always going to be a completion or always the right whatever. But at the end of the day, it's a decision that was decisive that everybody can live from it, and grow from it. So those are the 2 things I'm looking for right now. Who's going to own and command the team on offense, and then who can make the most elite decisive decisions as they continue to go through.
Coach, you got a 6th offensive lineman back, and that was short.
For about 3 periods, we were 1 up. We were +1. And now we're back to 5. So we actually got 1 back from an injury, and now we're back to 5. But like I said, there's not like there's 13 others too sitting on the bench. There's 4 or 5 others. We have some major depth issues that we, like I said before, that we have to fix. And I haven't been secretive about this. I told you my whole plan. If it goes back to rebuilding a culture or building depth or building a championship football team, we're going to do what we have to do in year 1, no matter what that is. And then I told you we're going to get a lot younger in 18 than we actually will get older. So again, this is a process. This is something that we're building to sustain over a long period of time that has to be able to build an incredible foundation. And there's a little bit of a bubble here the last 2 years that we've got to be able to pop and then reestablish as we continue to move forward.
How deep did you feel your football team was at the end of Western Michigan?
Incredibly deep.
Really?
Incredibly deep. I mean, that's what recruiting does. I think I said in my press conference, and you guys are familiar of me, the number one thing in this program is recruiting. Recruiting high school athletes, but also recruiting these players on the team. The University of Minnesota is the greatest place to be, right? But that's recruiting. Right now, we got 7 commitments for 2018 already. Those guys have to be ready to play when they come in that year. We started, I think, 17 to 18 freshmen my second year at Western Michigan University. But what that does is now all of a sudden that second class and that third class, those are the ones that go up together, right? So it'd be the 18-19 class that continue to go up through to provide that depth over the years. But, the D-line depth, the offensive line depth, we have got to establish more depth here, and we definitely will over the years.
Did you feel you were too deep in quality?
What's that?
Too deep in quality at Western Michigan?
Oh, absolutely, but it took a while. Remember, after year 1 at Western Michigan, I think we graduated 25 seniors, and then I think there was close to 21 guys that actually left the program after that year. There was a ton of attrition. I think we had like 40 kids or something like that, our second spring ball. So you have to do what you have to do. There's always going to be attrition. There's always going to be people that leave the program. There's always going to be people who love it and stay, and it's just so different and so new. And but I think we have a nice base. I think we have a nice base with some really talented players and incredible people. You check on the offensive side of the ball, there's not many people that played a lot, let alone that they haven't played a lot, nor do they have that many backups. So we got to get our numbers up over the next few years. We got to get our numbers up.
Benefit of getting the stadium.
Here's the biggest thing. We always want to keep them moving, guessing. I'm not into comfort. Okay, so this, we've practiced indoors, we practiced outside on our practice fields, we practiced in the stadium. We've only had 5 practices. You can tell when we blow a horn, they've never been in here. Where do I go now? Right? Where do I go now? It's another challenge, and then you got to start in 20 seconds. So again, continue to create that organized chaos now, because when the fall hits, that's what's going to happen. We have to be able to perform in that here before we even perform on that in the fall. So that's kind of the basis of it. Plus, we have a junior day, so we've got about 200 juniors here. So, that's important too, that they come out here, see the stadium, get a tour of it, plus also our new building.
All right. Thank you, guys.
You got it. Row the boat. Sky you out. Thanks a lot, guys.